Hello everyone, my name is Brahim Zouaoui. I'm doing my PhD in Architecture and Sustainable Built Environments. My project is about a pet clinic in Cairo. The purpose is to study the ventilation options for this building and come up with the best option possible. Looking at the floor plans, to your left you can see the ground floor, which is similar to the first floor, except that in the first floor we have an opening looking down to the ground floor. I chose two areas for study. But before that, we need to understand what is ventilation. Ventilation in the dictionary means the provision of fresh air to a room, building, etc. But when we're talking about a building, it's just like a human being. It needs to breathe to have a healthy environment. First, I had to start with the optimum building orientation. So what is the best orientation for the building to benefit from the ventilation? In the Ecotech software, it gives 185 degrees from the north. These are wind roses from the Ecotech software in summer. Looking at the base case scenario, we can see that the main color in these areas is dark blue, which means zero velocity. In other words, there is no movement of air, which is not really good for the building and its occupants. Another space is the duct canal that I picked up. Again, we can see that the dominant color is the dark blue, where the air is not moving much. We can see some slightly green, but still not the best. Ventilation strategy. I picked up Clerestories to solve this issue. In architecture, Clerestory is an opening on the top of the wall that allows lights or fresh air into the building. First, I chose the Clercstory shape. I'm going to use the cubic, triangular, and curved. Looking at the cubic shape, by adding the Clerestories to the building, we can see already that the colors are changing from dark blue into greenish type of shade. That means the air is moving. The second one is a triangular shape of Clerstory. In the same area, which is the prep area, we can see that the green color is there, much better than the previous one, and the air is again moving at a velocity of 0.05. Then, when it comes to the curved type of Clerestories, the idea is the same. The air is moving much better than the base case, and it is between 0.05 and 0.06 velocity. Now, choosing another space, which is the duct canal, I added the cubic kind of Clerestories, and this is how it looks in the building, and this is the consumption, the energy consumption of the building. Overall, the consumption is about 13 kilowatt from the date of 1st of January until 31st of December. Then, same process for the door canal again. I use the triangular type of Clerestories. This is how it looks in the building, and this is the consumption. You can see that the triangular one is consuming a bit more than the cubic one, which is almost 13.6 kilowatts. And the last option in the Clerestory shapes is the curved one, which is an office. And we can see again there is movement of the air. This is how it looks from the outside, and this is the yearly consumption, energy consumption. Once again, we can see that the consumption is quite high during the year, which is approximately 13 kilowatts. The second option I did was the orientation. I oriented the cubic Clerestories into the north. From the previous study, we saw that the cubic ones are the ones that's helping more the building. So I used the cubic ones in different directions. First one was the north, second one is the northwest, and the third one is the west. The northwest, we can see that there is a better movement of air within the building compared to all other cases so far. And the last one would be the west orientation. So the Clerestories are oriented this time to the west, and these are the results of this orientation. You can see that the velocity is with a 0.06, 0.08 meter per second. When it comes to another space, the same is repeated. So basically, I did the cubic ones on the north, on the northwest, and in the west. We can see that the consumption is 13 kilowatts per year for the north, and then for the northwest, when it comes to the duct canal, we can see that there is not much movement of the air, but still overall, when we look at the consumption of the building, we can understand the building is consuming less energy due to the ventilation happening. So in here we can see that there is 12.5 approximately kilowatts when it comes to the northwest, and so far it's the best one. Looking at the west, same is repeated again. The process is the same. We look at the consumption, and we can see that the consumption is higher than the previous one on the northwest, which is approximately almost 14. So far the best one is the cubic shape and the northwest orientation. Now let's look at the height of these Clercstories. By using the northwest orientation, the cubic shape, and 1 meter height, 2 meters, and 3 meters. So basically we're just changing the heights. We can see that the results are much better than the previous ones. Same process is repeated for 2 meters. We can see that the air is moving vertically and horizontally. In the horizontal area, I chose 1.5 meters and 5.5 meters since the height of the floor is 4 meters, so that we can study the movement of the air within the level of the occupants. Same applied here in the pre-area. Down the screen you can see to the left 1.5 meters and to the right 5.5 meters. The air is moving perfectly. Now moving to the door canal, we don't see that much of a difference compared to the previous ones. I believe because of its location. It's located on the northeast, and due to the openings as well. So the consumption is low compared to everything we've seen before. When it comes to 2 meters, again, the same process is repeated. Same song is sang again. And this is how it looks from the outside, in addition to the energy consumption of the building. It's quite higher than the previous one. We can see it's exceeding the between 14 and 15 kilowatts per year. And the 3 meters, again, we're going to see an increase in the consumption. What I believe it's due to the increase of the materials that allow the solar gain. And the more solar gain you have, the more energy you need to keep the building within the comfort zone. As you can see here, once we put it as 3 meters, the consumption is almost 17 kilowatts per year. So best case scenario in this case is the cubic shape, northwest orientation, and 1 meter height.